In form handling, there are two main attributes that are very necessary. The first one is the action and the second one is the method. Now there are two common methods. The first one is the post and the second one is get. But here we are using post. The action is the location of the file where we want to throw our data for the insertion in database or some other stuff. Here I just created file process.php, just wrote the path here. In order to get the values from form, we need name attribute. This is a process.php file. This is a small task here in process.php. We are only doing to display the username that we are getting. Here set is checking whether the post is set to submit. If yes, then here we are getting the username and storing it into the username variable. Displaying the username. Here in this step, displaying our username. Let's have a look. Okay, click on submit. Here you go. That's it. Now this is the scenario number 2. Whenever we need to use the session, we use this function, and this is the syntax of the session: $_session and the name of the session that we want to store and the name of the section that we want to set. We can set whatever we want, and this is the value which we want to store. I use the empty function here to check if the user is passing no data into the input, then set an error, or else we are displaying the success. At the end, we are redirecting to the index.php. For redirecting, we use header function. In this, we write the location and the path of the file where we want to redirect. Okay. On index.php, I am using isSet to check if my session is set and displaying the data which is stored in our session. After displaying, I am unsetting or destroy our session. I am doing the same in this code as well. Did you notice I again use session start? Because in order to use session, always need this function. Let's have a look to the output. I'm just typing Shan and submit. Okay, you entered Shan as your username. What if I entered without submitting any value? The error will display. That's it. Cross-site scripting is an attack in which attacker inject client-side scripts into the web pages viewed by the users. Okay, let's check this attack in action by running the code without validation. I just entered the JavaScript code that shows pop-up. Let's submit and boom, this is called cross-site scripting. In order to protect our input form from such attacks, we use proper validations. I am first trimming the values coming from form so that no one will be able to enter any space in data. And second one is the filter input. The first one is the type of the request that we are getting, and second one is the name of that input field, and third one is the most important, which is sanitization. This is the main part that remove the script stack from the input data. Okay, let's have a look to the output. Okay, I am again entering the same data. Click on submit and boom, the script tag has been removed so that our form has been secure. No one will be able to attack our form. Okay, that's it. Now I have just added another field, password. I am using password hash function here so that my password will be secured and securely stored into the database. Okay, password hash function contains two parameters. The first one is the normal password and the second one is the type of algorithm that we want to use. There are 2 to 3 algorithms that we can use in password hash function, but I am using password default because commonly it is used very frequently. Okay, let's have a look to the output to check what it's look like. Okay, here I'm just enter Shan and here you go. You enter Shan as your username and password has been hashed successfully. Okay, that's it. Now in this scenario, we just created an array of errors in which we will store our errors that will happen during our validation. Here we are checking if the username is empty, then we are storing the error into an errors array. Okay, same with the password. After that, we are hashing our password. Okay, now here we are counting the errors. If none of the error occurs, this means we are able to proceed with the success. If anything else go wrong, then we set the message error and just create another session for errors to display on each field. At the end, we are redirecting back to the index.php file. This process is the same as we did before. Now here we are checking if errors happens, then store them into the variable array, into errors variable array. Okay, now in order to display the error, I am first checking if the error is set with a specific name. If set, then display, otherwise nothing will display. Same process is going here with the password error. Let's have a look to the output. Now I am submitting the form without entering any data. It will throw me an error. Okay, here you can see please enter your username, enter password. Please check the errors. Now I'm trying to enter Shan. Your data has been stored. Okay, that's it. Let's move to the next step. Now in this scenario, I have just added regular expression for username in which I am allowing user to input only alphabet or digit. Okay, don't worry, I have attached the video or the resources to learn PHP regular expression in depth. This is just an example. In order to check if the username matches with the pattern, then we are good to go. Otherwise, throw an error. Let's have a look to the output. Okay, now here we are checking our output. Let's enter this without anything. Invalid or empty username. Please enter password. Now I'm adding this. As you can see, and still invalid. When we will add this, so as you checked, our proper validations are working, our regular expressions are also working. That's it. Let's move to the next step. Now there are many ways to interact with a database in PHP, like interaction with simple MySQLi approach, object approach using PTO prepared statements, and MySQLi prepared statement. We are going to use only MySQLi prepared statements. I always recommend you to use prepared whether it is from PTO or simple MySQLi approach. The most important step in database is to connect the database with PHP script in order to use in it. So here we are creating our database object so that we will have access to its functionality. The first step in prepare statement is to create the statement with prepare. In this we create our SQL query with names of columns and the parameters. These are the parameters and these are the names of the columns. Okay, in second step we just bind our parameters of our statement with actual values. Okay, these are the type. This means these are strings. Okay, for integer we use I, and that's it. After that, the last and the third step is to execute our prepare statement. That's it. Let's have a look to the output. Okay, this is our form. I am entering data Shan and password is whatever. Okay, submit. Your data has been stored. Let's have a look to the database where it is go. Okay, here you go. Shan and password has been inserted in hash format. Okay, that's it. Now we are going to perform these all functionality in our project. Okay, so you will see these functionality in action.